Here I am. Here with the goods. You guys have been asking me for a while now to do a video recommending some of my favorite Kindle Unlimited romances. So that's what we're doing today. Yes, I know, she's looking freshly blonde because I just got my hair did and I got it cut as well, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the shorter length. I'm so used to my hair being so long. Anyway, hi. I'm in a mood, and because I was in a mood, I did my makeup like this. Which is a bit of a vibe. Yes, so what was I saying? Kindle Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited recommendations. Now, majority of the books that I recommend are Kindle, like on Kindle Unlimited. So if you are a member or you're subscribed to Kindle Unlimited, you can read pretty much all the books that I recommend. There's only a few that you can't get on there. If you didn't know, Kindle Unlimited is a part of Kindle/Amazon. You pay a monthly subscription, and then you can read as many books as you want that are on the Kindle Unlimited list, which is brilliant. When I first started reading ebooks, I was buying them all, and then I learned that there was Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, oh! I saved a lot of money until I started buying paperbacks. So some of these books I'm going to recommend are new releases, some of them are not. They're just some of my favorites that I've kind of read recently, or the books that I feel like stand out the most when it comes to the best of the best on Kindle Unlimited. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get into this video. Pretty much all the books I'm going to recommend I actually own, but I just wanted to put the little image in for this video just because it is Kindle Unlimited, and then you guys can properly see the cover and the author and the name of the book. So the first book I'm going to recommend today is Mr. Garcia by TL Swan. So TL Swan is one of my favorite authors. Very hit and miss with a lot of people. Some people either read her books and love them, or they read them and they don't like them. I am a fangirl, okay? I own so many of her books. She's one of my go-to authors. There's not a book that I've read from her that I haven't enjoyed. So this one here is Mr. Garcia, and this is her newest release. Now this is like part of a series. So you've got Mr. Masters, which I've spoken about, Mr. Spencer, and then you've got Mr. Garcia. So Mr. Garcia is a really interesting read. I enjoyed it so much. It is a fat book too. So it's about this girl who works at a coffee shop, and she's terrible at making coffee, but you know, she's got to get that coin. She's got to make those dollars. She's at uni. Mr. Garcia comes in one day and she's infatuated by this man, and I don't blame her because look at this motherfucker on the front of this book. Mr. Garcia, honey, do you exist? Because me and you gotta link up, you know what I mean? Like, I've gotta have a chat with you. We're gonna sort something out because I feel like we would make beautiful babies. I feel like we would work out really well. Mr. Garcia is an older man, and that's a very common trope with TL Swan's books. She writes a lot of age gaps. Pretty much all of them are age gaps, I'm pretty sure. He fancies her as well, and he keeps going back to the coffee shop even though she makes terrible coffee. I'm not going to go into depth about the plot besides that, because there is a lot that goes on in this book that had me fucking shook, bitch. I was like, what? There were so many things in this book that literally made me gasp. I was like, no, bitch, because it was such a shock to the system. So many plot twists, oh my god. But if you're familiar with TL Swan's books and her escorting business that she's used in a couple of her plots of each of her books, it shows up in this book as well. And I will just say also that Mr. Garcia becomes the Prime Minister of the UK. He's not a mafia man, but he is a politician. This is the thing, I feel like TL Swan is so slept on when it comes to her sex. She writes really good sex scenes, and her alpha men, I just love them. I don't know, there's something about him. Mr. Masters is still my favorite, but Mr. Garcia, he's top tier alpha shit. So next up we've got Vibe by Liza James. Liza is a new-ish indie author, and this was my first read from her, and I really, really loved it. This is a female romance. Yes, bitch. I love girl on girl. You know, I can appreciate sex in general between many different genders, you know what I mean? I'm all about it. Like, let's just get jiggy with it. I think it's beautiful. Intimacy is beautiful no matter who you are, no matter what your gender is, and I'm down for the girl on girl. Okay. So this is super dark. So if you're someone that enjoys a dark read and you want to explore like the female element, that type of trope, this is where it is at. So it's about this girl who actually was raised in a cult, and she's gotten out. And she's in a relationship with this guy who she's been with ever since she left the cult, and she's also super close with her best friend. She wants to experiment and experience life, the life that she wasn't able to live when she was in the cult. So she ends up going to a strip club one night with her best friend and her boyfriend. Aurora is totally caught off guard when Ruby steps out on this stage and starts performing. She's feeling a certain type of way. She's vibing with this chick like she's never vibed before, and it kind of scares her because she doesn't know what it means and she doesn't understand it. And you know, she's only ever dated the boyfriend that she's got now, and Ruby is also noticing this connection, like this vibe they're getting between one another. Bitch, it is Steam McGee. This book is so fucking dirty, like lesbian sex. Wow, I didn't know. I don't know, I didn't know, but wow, this was making me feel vagina flutters, like hardcore. The lust between the two of them is in-fucking-sane, honestly. I was just like, bitch, what? I need to experience this. Or maybe I don't know. Okay, it was making me question a lot of things. Okay, it was making me question things. But it was really good read. Loved it. As I said, super dark. There's a lot of dark elements, like the strip club. There's a lot of shit going on down there. So if you're into dark reads and you haven't read a female, or you have and you enjoyed them, this was really well done. And I really, really enjoyed it. Then we got Blame It on the Tequila by Fiona. I did a reading vlog for this book when it was released, and I really loved it. I really, really loved it. I think it was done really well for the trope that it is, if that makes sense. So this is like a rock star romance, and usually besides Carrie and Cole, I steer away from rock star romances because I feel like they can be really corny and cheesy and just unrealistic and cringeworthy. But this one was good, and there's also different elements to this trope. This is a stepbrother, second chance, rock star romance. So it's about this girl who had a relationship with her stepbrother back in the day, and there was an event that went down that caused them to separate, and they haven't been in contact since. She's out one night with her girlfriends and she's having like the time of her life, and she's like dancing on the dance floor, like getting down with it, and her best friend gets up Instagram and clicks on an Instagram live and starts filming her. And then when she notices that she is, and goes and checks out like what's been filmed, she notices that she's on live, Instagram live, with her rock star stepbrother. Her friends have no idea that they know each other. No one really knows about their past, and she's very tight-lipped about it. And when she realizes it's him, she freaks the fuck out and she like closes the live. But because he's realized it's her, he tries to start getting back in contact with her. Now, as I said, I did do a reading vlog, so if you want to check out me reading this, I'll link it at the end of the video. It was really good. It wasn't as dark as Fiona's other books, but I really enjoyed it. There was just something about this book that I really, really liked. And there was a couple of scenes, and you'll see in the reading vlog, where I'm literally like on the edge of my seat and I'm like squealing and I'm like cringing because so many things go wrong. And oh my god, the sex in this book was really good. Like, especially there's this one scene where they're on tour together. If you read the book, you'll end up figuring out how that happens. But they're like on a bus, on a tour bus, and they're like secretly fucking. They're secretly fucking, knowing that the rest of the band members are on the bus and could hear them, and like she gets off on that. Yes, bitch. Fiona knows how to get it steamy. We got Flock by Kate Stewart. Now, I don't see this book, man. Honestly, I gave this book a 3-star rating when I read it because I feel like this is one of the most overhyped series I've ever read. But in saying that, there is something about this book that hasn't left me, okay? There's something about this book that just has stuck with me, and especially the relationship this girl has with these men. So it's about this girl who ends up, it's really hard to explain, so I'm just going to briefly do it, but it's definitely a book that you have to go in completely blind to get the full effect. It's about this girl who has not a very good relationship with her father, and was pretty much raised by just her mother, but she ends up going and living with her father for a little bit, and her father owns like a power plant, and she starts working at the power plant, and then she meets this guy at this power plant, and then she hangs out with this guy from the power plant, and he ends up taking her to his friend's house to hang out, and then she meets this other guy who's friends with the power plant guy, and then she kind of has attraction to the power plant guy and his friend, and then it just kind of turns into like a polyamorous relationship. So yeah, that's just nothing, okay? That's nothing compared to this plot. It's very, very intricate. The writing wasn't that easy to like consume, but it fucking just stayed with me. And that's why I'm recommending it, because I know a lot of people love this series. A lot of people rate this as the best series they've ever read. So if you check out the first book, Flock, and you enjoy it, I definitely suggest that you continue on. I haven't read the third book yet because I just don't know if I want to go there yet. Especially after the second book, bitch. It's mind-blowing. So yeah, if you want to check out Flock, I suggest you do. You may be disappointed, you may not be. It's a very strange book, and it left me with a mixed review. Like, I don't know if I love it or I hate it. And I feel like they're some of the best reads because you're so conflicted in how you feel about it. You're like, was this amazing or was it trash? Was this great or was it just not my cup of tea? Like, that's the type of shit I love. I love reading a book that really just throws me and I'm like, I was not expecting that and I don't know how I feel. Now, I recently read The Gravity of Us by Brittany C. Cherry, and I believe that this is book 4 in the Elements series, which I didn't know. I just saw the cover, read the blurb, and I was like, okay, let's do this. And oh my God, I loved this book so much. Like, I read this in one sitting, and at the moment it's really hard for me to read a book in one sitting. My attention span is fucking so shit right now, honestly. I really struggle. And it was just a really sweet read that really fucked with my emotions. Like, I cried. And you guys know it's not common for me to cry in romances. Why is the sun bouncing off the floorboards and in my eyeball? That's what I want to know. That's what I really want to know. Okay, hopefully that's better. It's still bouncing in, yeah, it's still there, isn't it? And now my head is in the plant. Cool. So it's about this girl who owns a florist, and she does these flower arrangements for this funeral, and she goes to drop them off at the funeral and then realizes the flowers are for this really like famous guy, and the funeral is more of like a celebration of his life where fans were able to buy tickets and attend. Anyway, she's like there and she gets stuck in like this closet with this really sexy, brooding asshole. Oh my God. And it ends up being the son of the person who's passed away. And he's also a really famous author. Oh my God. He is just one of a kind. He is one of the most like stoic characters I've read. Like there's nothing there. He's just like solid as a rock. To penetrate into his heart is hard work. And oh my God, there were so many things in this that I just love. It has one of my favorite tropes of all time in this book. But I don't like telling people what the trope is because then it ruins it. Next up, we got Gianna Darling's Inked in Lies, which is a really good installment to the Fallen Men series. It's kind of like a foster sibling, so it's kind of taboo, age gap, and this is one of those stories where the woman is so obsessed with the guy and the guy knows it but kind of shuts her down. So if you like anything to do with MC clubs, if you've read the series before or an installment of the series and enjoyed it, I suggest you check out Inked in Lies because Nova, bitch, is one of a fucking kind. He's covered in tattoos. He owns a tattoo shop. That's a massive part of the plot, the tattoo shop, which I think is really cool and something different. Like, you don't really read that often. But yeah, it's just one of those kind of plots and storylines where the girl is simping hard, okay, and he knows it, but he's not doing anything about it, and he secretly is too, but he's just not admitting to it and not acknowledging it. And I just loved it. I did a reading vlog on this one too, so you should check that out. This released like last year, but it's definitely one of my favorites in the series, and yeah, you can get any of the Fallen Men books on Kindle Unlimited, so I thought I'd just drop this here in this video. Alright, so that is it for today's video. That's all my Kindle Unlimited recommendations for today. I have tons more, but they're just books I've already recommended, so I just didn't want to put them in this video. I'm hoping to get some hardcore reading done this weekend because I'm actually at home by myself, and I haven't been well as of recently, so I'm going to take this weekend as a little bit of a break from the world and kind of delete my social media apps and just read. So I'm excited because there's tons of books I need to read. And I'm so excited to get some fresh recommendations up. Like today I spoke about a couple of books that I haven't recommended before, and that's just so nice and rewarding to feel, because as a booktuber at times you feel like you're being really repetitive. So it's nice to recommend some freshies. Anyway, thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!